If you clicked on this video, I can only assume that you want a bigger bench press. So today I'm going to not only show you, but I'm going to explain to you how and why dumbbells are one of the best tools you could utilize in the gym for building not only a bigger bench press, but also a massive physique. Now there's a reason that the greatest bodybuilders and strength athletes of all time have heavily utilized the dumbbells, and after watching today's video, you're going to understand exactly why that is. That's really important when chasing a big bench press because it's going to aid you with your shoulder health, your joint health. You know, as you move forward, as you handle heavier weights, you're going to be in less pain, meaning you're more inclined or more likely to progress and to get stronger. Okay, because the incline carries over more to the bench press than the overhead press does. It's great to be strong on all angles. Okay, it's great to be strong overhead, on an incline, on a flat, but at the end of the day, we need to be more specific, closer towards the end of the program. And welcome back to your mum's favorite channel on YouTube, Cult Strength. That's right, baby. Now, in today's video, I'm going to be answering the question for you of, can you use dumbbells to get a big bench press? And, you know, the answer I think is pretty simple, but that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, in my personal opinion, I think dumbbells are one of the most overlooked pieces of equipment in the gym today. Full stop. Okay, now I know you can get nice fancy new dumbbells and that's fantastic, they look great, but the idea of a dumbbell has been around for a long time and it's stood the test of time. Now if you look at the greatest bodybuilders, the best powerlifters, strongmen, whatever it is, they've all utilized dumbbells heavily in their training. And that's for a reason, okay? Now don't get me wrong, machines, they're fantastic. We all love a nice fancy machine, right? And there's nothing wrong with using one, okay? We love them, that's cool. But don't overlook the fact that dumbbells are probably going to be your best friend, you know, utilizing them as the tool they are to get a bigger bench press and the byproduct of getting more yoked and more jacked, which is pretty cool in my opinion. Now, with dumbbell pressing, I think they're best utilized after your barbell work, okay? So if you're watching this video and you don't have a barbell, you don't have an access to a gym and you just have some dumbbells, that's okay, hang around. You're still gonna learn a lot because you can still get stronger using just dumbbells, okay? You can still progress and you still train the same way if you have access to, you know, maybe a different selection of dumbbell weights. We can still treat it the same way we would treat a bench press, okay? You can just use the dumbbells and that's fine. But to get the most out of the dumbbell, I believe you should use it straight after your bench press or your pressing movements. Okay, they supplement the bench press so well, they're generally overlooked in most people's programs because they're not flashy, okay? And yeah, they take a bit of effort to use, you gotta haul them up and shit like that, right? But if you're not using them, you're really missing out on some serious gains with your bench press and with some size. We all wanna be bigger, we all want a bigger bench press. If you're watching this video, of course you do. So today I'm gonna show you a couple of different examples of how you can utilize dumbbells, not only with pressing, okay, but also with your back movements, okay? Because again, utilizing dumbbells to build a big bench press, yeah, we do pressing movements, right? But what's one of the main rules that I have, all right? If you want a big bench press, build a big back. So there's also other ways we can utilize dumbbells to grow a big back. If you don't have access to machines, you can use dumbbells, you can use barbells, but today we're talking dumbbells, okay? So I'm going to show you just a few examples of some pressing movements and a few examples of some rowing movements, some back movements, and then I'll leave it up to you guys to, you know, put that into your training if you think you should. And I absolutely think you should. You'd be silly not to, in my personal opinion. But before we get started with the first one, I released a program 2 days ago, the Deadlift Devastator. It is a deadlift only program. I know this is a dumbbell pressing video, but it's live now on my website, cultstrength.square.site. I also have many other programs on there. I have bench press programs, 3 lift powerlifting peaking programs, power building programs, and I'm releasing a brand new bench press program in about a week or two. So that's exciting, but we're gonna get into this video now. Make sure if you haven't, you've subscribed to this channel I post videos very frequently and I try to give as much value as I can. Hopefully you get something out of this. And I also post a lot of training videos. I'm prepping for some cool stuff at the moment. And make sure you like this video as well and drop a comment if you learned anything today, anything interesting, if you want to tell me what you had for dinner, you know, if your mum had something nice to say about me, whatever it is, drop a comment and let me know. But we're going to get to work now. Let's do it. All right, now with the dumbbell pressing exercises, okay, there's a few things to discuss. But first, let's talk about what rep range should we utilize with dumbbell pressing to maximize our bench press. Now, it's going to be very relative to where you are in a training cycle. Okay, let's say you've just started a program. So you're like 12 or 16 week program, you're in your first 4 weeks, okay? You need to remember, we want to progress our dumbbell pressing the same way that we would progress our bench pressing. Okay, so as our bench press gets heavier and drops down in, say, reps, we do the same thing with our dumbbells. So we want to leave room for progression. So when I start a program, I like to start with my dumbbell pressing reps quite high. They might start at 15 to 20 repetitions because I know between week 1 and 4, and by the time I get to, let's say, weeks 12 to 16, those dumbbell reps are going to be down to between 5 reps and 8 reps per set. Okay, so we want to start with higher volume, work our way, towards heavier weights as we drop the volume, in a very similar way that we would do with our bench pressing. Okay, so there's nothing really tricky there, but a lot of people miss that one. It needs to progress in a very similar fashion if we want to utilize this to help build a bench press. Okay, very simple. We need to get better at dumbbell pressing too. Don't just pick up the same weights every week and do the same reps every week. Make sure you have a plan to progress. Okay, that's how we get better. Very simple. Now, when it comes to frequency, well, because I like to use 2 bench press days per week, okay, I like to utilize 2 different dumbbell pressing variations during the week as well. So I'll do, for example, my main bench press day, I might do, let's say, an overhead dumbbell press or an incline dumbbell press. And then on my secondary bench press day, I'm going to do whichever one I didn't do, so the overhead or the incline. Now, most of my dumbbell pressing is on an incline. And I'll explain why. I don't do any dumbbell pressing on a flat, really, okay, because we do so much bench pressing on a flat. We do a lot of bench work and most of it's flat. Okay, the large majority of our bench work is flat, a little bit of incline work, and some people, they sprinkle in some barbell overhead press work too, cool. But because we're doing so much flat bench during a typical bench press program cycle, right, we want to think about utilizing different angles at the same time. So I prioritize incline dumbbell pressing and shoulder pressing with dumbbells over flat pressing, because we're already doing all the flat stuff already. It's already covered. So I'll do 1 day a week of incline, 1 day a week of overhead, and as I get closer to the peaking, so maybe the last 4 to 6 weeks of a program, the overhead dumbbell pressing might come out as I drop the volume and I stick with 1 dumbbell pressing day, and it's just incline. Okay, because the incline carries over more to the bench press than the overhead press does. It's great to be strong on all angles. Okay, it's great to be strong overhead, on an incline, on a flat, but at the end of the day, we need to be more specific, closer towards the end of a program. Okay, so closer that we get to the end of the program, all the movement becomes a lot more specific. The overhead doesn't carry over, it goes out. Okay, the incline still carries over a bit. We keep it in, and it keeps a nice little variation to just the flat bench pressing. So that's how, I utilize it in a training split. Okay, so twice a week, 2 different angles. Okay, and they'll both be high volume days, and closer to the end of the program, they'll both be lower reps. Okay, that's how we go. So I'm going to give you a quick demonstration of an incline dumbbell press, because there's one main rule that I want you to follow when it comes to your dumbbell pressing, and that's the range of motion. Now, I harp on about this all the time, but it's very important if you want to maximize your bench press and you want to maximize your gains. Okay, now you can just shrug it off if you'd like, that's fine, you don't have to listen. Okay, but if you want the truth is full range of motion matters. Okay, you're gonna get the most benefits from the bottom range, okay, from the bottom range of the motion anyway. So doing half reps doesn't really cut it here. Full range, full extension, full lockout. Now I'm gonna go relatively light. I did banged my pec up a little bit with my last bench press video, my last session. So just 25 kilo dumbbells just for this demonstration, because I'm not too sure how my pec is yet. It's needs a few more days at least. But just keep in mind my range of motion. I'm using a neutral grip, okay, so it's relatively comfortable on the shoulders. But yeah, the full range of motion is key here. Okay, so starting here, dumbbells touching the shoulder. Okay, dumbbell head touching the shoulder, full stretch, full lock. Now, I'm not touching them together, but I'm fully locked out. Okay, straight back down, I'm in a neutral grip, back to the shoulder, touching, press. Right? Easy. Now, my pec feels good, so that's good. I was meant to max out tomorrow with Big Vassar at base gym. Meant to do the last training session on my cycle, but I might have to push it back for a few days just to give my pec a bit more time to heal, because it's a grade 1 tear. So, not ideal, especially right before max testing, but such is life. I'm doing everything I can to get it better, because I want to hit, a heavy single before I wrap this program up and get started with my new one. More on the pressing, keep it in your program. Twice a week for the large majority of, your program, you're gonna see great benefits from a pressing standpoint, okay? They're incredible tools to use. If you're not using them, I really do think you're missing out, absolutely. And I'm not gonna show you demonstrations of overhead and of flat, because you get the gist, right? It's a full range of motion. You can execute it, however you want, whether it's incline or overhead or flat, if that's really what you want to do. But as I said, if you're doing a lot of flat already, mix it up with the angles, okay? Be strong in some different ranges, different angles. That's really, really important, and it's going to help you in the long run. Absolutely. So next, we're going to go over some back movements we can do with dumbbells. Just a few simple ones, okay, that you can add in, because you don't need to do a lot of crazy variety. You just need to make sure you cover your bases, and I'll show you some great staples you can use, if you only have dumbbells, or even if you're interested in utilizing dumbbells more, because they're fantastic. But make sure you like this video, drop a comment, and subscribe. Let's do it, baby. All right, now let's talk back. Just a few different movements and a few different notes for you to take away from this, because it's important that we spend equal time on our back as we do with our pressing or with our chest or shoulders, right? Now, one really important rule is make sure you do equal amount of pulling or rowing, okay, that you do with your pressing, so 1-to-1 ratio. Now also take into account angles. What angles are you training? We need to make sure we're doing the reverse movement, okay? So if you're doing, any shoulder pressing, stuff like that, even incline pressing, make sure we're doing a vertical pull, meaning a pull down, like a lat pull down, or even a pull up, right? Some sort of a pull down variation. If we're doing things like flat benching, we need to make sure that we're doing horizontal pull, okay? A row, a seated row. So that's a really simple, an effective way to think about your programming with your upper body. So if you're thinking, okay, how can I program my training split? If you want to have a really well-balanced approach, it's a 1-to-1 ratio push-pull, so make sure you're getting equal amounts pushing or pressing as you are with your pulling or rowing movements. And as I said, taking into account angles, so if you're doing a lot of incline work or overhead pressing work, make sure you're getting a lot of lat pull-down work in, pulls from various angles above your head. And then if you're doing a lot of flat bench pressing, make sure that you're utilizing a lot of rowing movements, okay? Horizontal pulling movements to balance it out, to maintain that harmony. That's really important when chasing a big bench press, because it's going to aid you with your shoulder health, your joint health. As you move forward, as you handle heavier weights, you're going to be in less pain, meaning you're more inclined or more likely to progress and to get stronger. That's a big win. That's a really big win. But in terms of dumbbells, we can't really do a vertical pull, right? So, if you don't have, let's say, machines, and you want to do a vertical pull, well, we can do things like assisted pull-ups, right? You know how to do pull-ups, assisted pull-ups with a band, things like that. But if you can't, utilize everything, you don't have access to that, you could even do a simple banded pull-down with one arm with a resistance band. But today I'm going to show you just a few different rowing variations you can do that are still going to target different areas of your back on different angles, and you can utilize them, and it's going to create a pretty well-rounded, balanced approach. Okay, so the first one we're going to talk about is none other than the chest-supported dumbbell row. I'm going to show you a few repetitions here. Again, the focus with accessory movements is a nice, long, full range of motion. Okay, no short, choppy reps. We want a full stretch, full contraction. That's the name of the game with the accessories, okay? And train your back. Again, the back movements the same way we train dumbbell movements and pressing movements, right? You want to progress your back with strength as well. A lot of people just do the same reps and sets with back. I know you do, right? And that's okay because there's not a lot of information out there on that. But train it the same way, okay? If you want to progress and get a bigger, stronger back, don't just hit the same reps and sets every session. If you're going to go heavier with your bench pressing, you're going to go heavier with your bloody dumbbell pressing, then you've got to go heavy with your back training as well. We need balance. We need them to be as strong as each other. So if you're just getting stronger with the pressing and the chest, but you're not getting stronger with your back, we're creating a further imbalance, which isn't going to help you in the long run. But let me show you a few repetitions now. Let's go. All right, so I find the best way to set this up, I don't know if you can see it on camera or not, but I just rest one of the dumbbell heads from each dumbbell on the frame of the bench I'm using. Reach down, grab one at a time. Okay, so full stretch position here, and the bench on the chest or the chest support is handy because it eliminates any momentum, and we really focus on just utilizing our back muscles to do the rowing. So we'll just do say 5 or 6 reps here, full stretch, full contraction. One more. Whoosh. Nice and easy in there. I'm just kind of thinking about, bringing the dumbbells up into the bench or into my ribs, squeezing up as hard as I can, driving my elbows back together as hard as I can, and then getting a nice full stretch position so that I'm working all the muscles in my back, including my rear delts, my lats, my rhomboids, my traps, sure. Everything's getting worked. So that's an example of a chest supported row. I'm also going to show you how you can do a nice, a bent over row with a dumbbell. It's a lovely variation because of the amount of stretch that you can get with dumbbells, I find. A nice rounding through the upper back really is a treat when it comes to getting a filthy upper back pump and building mass. So I'll give you a demonstration of that and then we'll chat some more. All right, now just a quick demonstration of some bent over rows with dumbbells. Now pay attention to the flexion, okay, or the rounding, is another word for it you could say, of my thoracic spine, my upper back. I'm not letting my lower back round, I'm just letting the dumbbells stretch and pull my scaps out of the socket, okay, because when we do a lot of pressing, we focus on the retraction, the depression of the scapula, but it's still important to take it through a full range, okay? So you're gonna see here, a full stretch, open the scap, and then row, which is where we contract and squeeze these scaps together, right? So we'll do a few reps here and then we'll probably wrap the video up, but I'll touch on a few more things for sure. But I hope you're enjoying this so far. If you are, let me know in the comments. Let's do it. Did you look at it? All right, gang, and there's the bent over row. As you can see, a lot of flexion through the upper back, but no movement through the lower back, okay? That's nice and stable. I'm not swinging around, not using momentum, getting a nice good stretch, and that's how you should utilize that, or that you should utilize that technique, right, with all of your back training. Full stretch, full contraction, you're gonna get the most bang for buck out of your training without a doubt. So that kind of wraps up the video. Now, I hope you really do, utilize dumbbells. Hope you learn to love them. Now, if you've followed any of my programs, you will know there's a lot of dumbbell pressing in them. Okay, I don't muck about when it comes to gains, when it comes to getting you strong. Okay, it's a passion of mine. I love doing it, so I make sure my programs work. And they have a lot of dumbbell pressing in them. So even if you don't run my programs, I definitely recommend that you utilize this information if you want to get stronger, because I'm here to help. I really am. That's what I like doing. And yeah, so if you have any questions, please ask them in the comments. If you have anything you want to know, anything you're unclear on, from this video, or just to do with maybe your bench press, and I'll do my best to get back to you. And my programs, as I said, are available, coldstrength.square.site. And guys, I truly appreciate anybody who jumps on there and grabs my programs. That's what allows me to keep doing this. Okay, that's what really allows me to keep doing this, because yes, I have a YouTube channel, I have a monetized YouTube channel, but we don't make that much money off views, not until you have hundreds of thousands of subscribers. So the way I make a living is through programs and through coaching. So I truly appreciate you guys. It does allow me to keep making this content. So if you're looking for a program, please consider it. I truly appreciate it, and I promise you, you're gonna get strong as shit, which is strong. That's really strong, let me tell you right now. That's very strong, strong as shit. I have some strong shits, if you know what I'm saying. But I'm gonna wrap it up now. I have a hot goth mummy inside, waiting for me. She's not probably waiting for me, she's probably wrestling our 3-year-old, who is a demon, and I love him very much. So I'm gonna go and see what they're doing, and then edit this video and get it online. But a lot to be excited about. Hoping to get down to base tomorrow to still do some training with Big Vasa while he does heavy bench. We'll see how we go. I just won't be doing my max out session. I don't think it's realistic. I don't think I'll get close to my goal without re-injuring it. And it definitely needs another 4 or 5 more days with some of the treatment that I'm giving it as well. So yeah, but thank you for tuning in. Until next time, you know what to do. Utilize some dumbbells and go to the fucking gym. Let's go.